Level selects are something of a staple of the Sonic series, starting with the very first game in the series. However, it's only accessible via a super secret cheat code. On the title screen, press up, then down, then left, then right, and you should hear a ring sound effect. That means you did it correctly. Next, hold A, and while holding A, press start, and there you have it. It's not exactly the most exciting level select, it's just the title screen sprite with a black background and white text. But hey, minimalism is in now, so maybe Sonic Team was just being forward-thinking. Another forward-thinking part of this level select is the inclusion of a sound test option. This level select doesn't have any music playing by default, but you can play all of the game's music and sound effects here with the sound select. It's almost like the devs knew that the music was so good that people would want to listen to it on its own. A feature like this is very much appreciated. Even nowadays, a sound test with all of the game's audio is not common. Probably because they want you to buy the soundtrack or listen to it on their random smartphone app. One weird detail about the sound select is that the music tracks for the zones are out of order. The first song, track 81, is Green Hill Zone, of course, but the second track, number 82, is Labyrinth Zone's music. You'd think that it would be Marble Zone since that's the second level of the game. Marble Zone is instead the third track, number 83, then Starlight Zone, then Spring Yard Zone, and then Scrap Brain Zone. If you've watched some of my other videos before, or you're just a die-hard Sonic fan, then you probably already know why this is. It's because the original level order for Sonic 1 was supposed to be Green Hill, then Labyrinth, then Marble, then Starlight, then Spring Yard, and then Scrap Brain. In fact, the current level select that you're looking at now is actually from a later version of Sonic 1 called Revision 01. But if we look at the day 1 version of Sonic 1, Revision 0, then we can actually see the OG level order on the level select screen. That's a part of what makes level select screens so cool. You get to see some of the early development ideas that didn't make it into the full game. Sonic 1's level select is, well, pretty basic, but thankfully, things get more interesting with Sonic 2's level select screens. I say screens, plural, because we have 2 screens to talk about, fitting as this is Sonic 2. The first one I'll mention is the 2-player versus level select. It's a very simple 2x2 grid with a still preview image of each level. There are only 4 options: Emerald Hill, Mystic Cave, Casino Night, and the Special Stage. All of the zones have their own little preview images, which just adds a bit of extra charm to the whole thing. The background is blue, which is very fitting for Sonic. There's this pattern in the background that alternates between Sonic's name and Tails' government name, Miles. For whatever reason, the Japanese staff at Sega seemed to really like the name Miles because in several early Sonic games, the Japanese versions of the games would often refer to our Fox friend in the UI and other graphics by his real name, Miles, instead of his commonly used nickname, Tails. The early development history of the Sonic series is really intriguing, as it seems like there was a ton of back and forth and opposing ideas amongst several of the people involved. That's only the first of Sonic 2's level select screens, so let's check out the game's secret level select. To get to the secret level select screen, you first go to the options menu from the title screen, head down to the sound test, and play track 19, then 65, then 9, then 17. After that, you should hear a sound effect, signifying that you inputted the code correctly. Press start to go back to the title screen, and once you're back, hold A, and while holding A, press start, and then you should be at the level select screen. A bit more complex than Sonic 1's code, but hey, still not too bad. The code for the level select in Sonic 2 is actually a reference to the game's lead programmer, Yuji Naka, as his birthday is September 17th, 1965. The level select screen has music, the same as the normal options menu, but like with Sonic 1's level select, you can play music and sound effects via the sound test. They even have a cute little picture of Sonic wearing headphones. This is a really good level select screen. In fact, it was so good that they reused it for Sonic 3. I won't go super deep into Sonic 3's secret level select as I already talked about it quite a bit in my first weird Sonic lore video, but to give you guys a quick rundown, this level select is really hard to access. After starting up the game, when Sonic appears on screen after the screen darkens with the Sega logo, you have to enter up, up, down, down, up, 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 before the title screen shows up. Unfortunately, there are lag frames where your inputs don't always work, so getting the code to work can be really fickle. For reference, this time it took me 7 tries to get the code right. The whole level select is buggy and unfinished, as there are levels from Sonic and Knuckles on the level select, but they don't actually work. They also didn't even make new pictures for the level select preview images, they just reused the Sonic 2 ones. I guess one preview image that they probably reused but technically isn't seen in Sonic 2 is the preview image for the scrapped Sonic 2 level that didn't make the final game, Hidden Palace Zone, which was included in Sonic 2's 2013 mobile version as well as the 2022 Sonic Origins version of Sonic 2. One neat feature is you can actually select which special stage you want to go to by using the first 8 sound test tracks. Notice how I said 8. That's right, there's a secret 8th special stage of Sonic 3 that you can access by changing the sound test to track 7 by holding A and start on the special stage 2 option. It's a pretty simple special stage that consists of you running around this big spiral, but it takes a while to complete, which means the game ends up speeding up a lot, which can make executing the jumps way harder. Now that we've gone through the secret level select screen, let's go to the normal level select screen seen in the 2-player competition mode. By choosing Match Race or Time Attack, you'll be taken to a level select screen. However, unlike in Sonic 2, these are completely new zones, although they do seem to take a lot of influence from some of the zones from other Sonic games. Balloon Park is giving major Carnival Night vibes, and Chrome Gadget looks like a dollar store Stardust Speedway. In any case, I do really like the 2-player level select screen. We have preview images, which is of course great. I really like the font that they use for the level names. I don't know why, maybe it's because it's thicker and bolder than the normal Sonic 3 title card font. And the background is pretty slick too. It's a render of the Sonic model from the title screen, in this forest with Sonic's name plastered in front of everything. It's a little bit busy, but it's pretty stylish. Sonic 3 is only one half of the experience, so let's look at the other half, Sonic and Knuckles, which has a different level select code. In fact, this one is probably the most unique of them all so far. Instead of inputting a code in a menu, you input a code during gameplay. Start up the game, and on the first level, Mushroom Hill Act 1, just keep going straight until you get to this little pulley seesaw thing. Jump up and grab one of them. Then enter the code left, 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 right, 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 up, up, up. As always, you will hear a ring sound effect, letting you know that you inputted the code correctly. Once you hear that ring, then press start to pause the game and press A to go back to the title screen. Being able to go directly to the title screen like this isn't possible in normal gameplay, but inputting the level select code also gives you the ability to return back to the title screen whenever you want by pausing. At the title screen, press A and start to go to the level select screen. It's very similar to the one from Sonic 3, but with all of the Sonic 3 and Knuckles levels listed, albeit without the preview images. While the Sonic 3 levels are selectable in the Sonic and Knuckles level select, if you choose to go to them, you'll just be taken to Mushroom Hill. One neat thing about this level select is that you can pick whether you want to play as Sonic or Knuckles. There's this little number here below Angel Island that you can change by pressing the C button. This number represents what character you're going to be playing as. 0, 1, and 2 are for Sonic, and 3 is for Knuckles. It's a little weird that they gave 3 numbers to Sonic and just 1 to Knuckles. Favoritism much? But the 3 numbers for Sonic make a lot more sense when we go to the level select for the combined version of the 2 games, Sonic 3 and Knuckles. The level select code for this game is the same as the one from Sonic and Knuckles, but instead of doing the code on a pulley in Mushroom Hill, we do the code on a vine in Angel Island. Thankfully, now we can go to all of the stages from both Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles. Also, now we can play as Tails. Remember those numbers below Angel Island on the level select screen? Well, now, instead of the first 3 numbers making you play as Sonic, 0 is for Sonic and Tails, 1 is for Sonic alone, 2 is for Tails alone, and 3 is for Knuckles. The only downside is that this game, as well as the Sonic and Knuckles level select that it's based on, don't have the level preview images. Thankfully, you can see the preview images in the other level select screen in the game. In case you forgot, Sonic 3, and by extension Sonic 3 and Knuckles, has a level select on the save file select screen. Unfortunately, you can only use it if you've already beaten the game, otherwise you'll just continue from the last stage that you left off from. The other unfortunate part is that for some reason, you can only start from the first act of each zone. The level select kinda sucks, but hey, at least we got some preview images. These ones are quite a bit bigger than the Sonic 2 ones, so there's more space for detail, and as such, these are really good. Also, like with Sonic 3, you can access the 8th special stage of Sonic 3, but for some reason you'll need to unlock edit mode first. You do this by going back to Mushroom Hill and doing the same level select code again. Left, 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 right, 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 up, up, up. Then pause and press A to return to the title screen. Go back to the sound test to get to the level select, and now you can access the 8th special stage of Sonic 3. Change the sound test to track 7, go to special stage 1, hold A, and then press start, and there you have it. You can also go to the secret 8th special stage of Sonic & Knuckles by selecting special stage 2 instead of special stage 1. I've only scratched the surface of level select screens from early Sonic games because back in the day, this was actually super common. I'm not going to go through all of them because, well, a lot of them aren't that interesting. Just like with the games I already mentioned, you usually just go to the title screen or options menu, enter a code, and boom, you can go to whatever level you want. One interesting level select that I will bring up is the level select from Sonic 3D Blast, because there's a pretty hilarious story behind it. If you have an original Sega Genesis cartridge of the game plugged into the Genesis console, you can actually get to this level select screen by smacking the game cartridge around. The reason for this is because the connection between the console and the game becomes messed up, causing the game to throw an error. However, the game's programmer, John Burton, implemented a system that would cause the game to redirect you to the level select screen if the game ever had an error in order to bypass Sega's quality control system. John Burton has a YouTube video on his channel GameHut where he goes into way more detail about the whole process, so it may be worth a watch if you want to learn more. Secret level select codes fell out of usage in the Sonic series during the modern era. Instead, games would often offer level selects by completing the stages normally, similar to how Sonic 3 did it. One of my favorite level select screens comes from Sonic Adventure 2, because I adore how they structured it. Instead of a boring old list on an empty screen, the level select is on top of an image of a world map. This allows you to see exactly where each of the stages in Adventure 2 takes place in relation to one another, as well as what the general area looks like. I don't know what it is, but I just really like maps, especially really well done ones like this. The stage placements all make sense for the most part, like all of the sandy stages are next to each other in this little pyramid area, all of the space stages are in one area inside and around the Space Colony Arc, and you can see the highways leading in and out of City Escape that Tails and Rouge take during their minigame levels. It's all just really nice. There are even some cute little details like this big pumpkin next to where Pumpkin Hill and Skyrail take place. This style of world map level select screen would continue with games like Sonic Advance 2, Sonic Rush, and Sonic Colors. Sonic Colors is pretty neat since you actually get to see a 3D model of Sonic running around to all of the different spots where the levels are on the map. And the maps for all of the different worlds have unique music that plays on them, and all of the tracks are fantastic, of course. I never really listened to them much since I was always so eager to actually get to the levels themselves, but actually sit back and listen to some of these. They're great. This whole moving around a map idea would get expanded upon in other games too, like Sonic Advance 3, Sonic Generations, and Sonic Superstars, which would instead opt to have these small 2D perspective hub worlds where you go from stage to stage. I feel like this is a natural progression of the idea, though of course Sonic Adventure had a hub world back in 1998 before Sonic Adventure 2 was even a thing, so I guess it's more like the series has flip-flopped between ideas and experimented with different methods of the beautiful art of level selecting. Sonic Adventure has its own level select called the Trial Mode, but it's nowhere near as interesting as the Hub World. I'll probably have to do a separate video at some point just talking about Sonic Hub Worlds, as it doesn't really feel appropriate to talk about them here. So instead, let's talk about another classic style level select screen, the level select from Sonic Mania. Specifically, the updated version of Sonic Mania, Sonic Mania Plus. Sonic Mania actually has quite a few level select screens. We have the standard normally accessible level select from the Save File Select menu. The Mania mode file select is very similar to the file select from Sonic 3, in appearance and in functionality. One sweet addition is that the preview images aren't still pictures anymore. They have a scrolling graphic for each zone, which is cool. Then we have the Encore mode file select, which is basically the same thing as the Mania mode, but with less available save slots, a different background, and a different song that plays. There's also the level select in the time attack mode, which has you going down a list instead of just scrolling through what you want in the normal single player mode. We also have the multiplayer competition mode level select, which has a grid layout with still images of all of the stages. Next up, we have the file select available by turning on the debug mode. Go to the Mania mode file select and highlight the no save option. Then go to the game options by pressing the top face button on your controller. This should be Y on an Xbox controller, square on PlayStation, and X on Switch. On keyboard, the key is Q. Next, turn debug mode on. Leave the game options menu and press the start button to begin the game. Before the screen completely turns black, hold the left face button and there you go. This level select is of course heavily inspired by the Sonic 2 level select screen. However, instead of the background text alternating between saying Sonic and Miles, it swaps between saying Sonic and Mania. You can change your character by pressing the left face button, and each character gets a little icon where they have on headphones if you highlight the sound test, which is very cute. Speaking of the sound test, like with the classic Sonic games, you can use the sound test to enter in cheat codes. I'll have to do a separate video on Sonic cheat codes at some point. If you enter the code 2, then 0, 1, 8, 0, 6, 2, and finally 3, you'll switch to Encore mode. This code is actually a reference to Sonic's birthday, June 23rd. By entering this code, if you select a level, you'll be sent to the Encore version of the level. The sound test also allows you to select the special stage that you want to go to. Normally, by selecting the special stage 1 option from the debug level select, you'll just be sent to the first 3D special stage where you're chasing after the UFO. The same goes for special stage 2, which are the Blue Sphere special stages. Selecting it will take you to the first Blue Sphere stage. However, if you play one of the first 14 sounds in the sound test, you'll be taken to the corresponding special stage, and this applies to both the 3D and Blue Sphere stages. Mania brought back classic Sonic, but the classics would come back on their own with the Sonic Origins collection. Let's see how the level select screens got updated in Origins. I'll be specifically looking at the versions of the games in the expanded version of Origins, Sonic Origins Plus. To access the Sonic 1 level select, on the Sonic 1 title screen, press up, down, left, right, then press a button, and there you go. As you can see, it's quite different from the level select on the Genesis. This one is based on Sonic 2's level select again, and like Sonic 2, we have the level preview images. It's really cool to get to see how Sonic 1's preview images look. The most interesting new additions are a bunch of new options. You can change your player character, you can turn off the spin dash, you can turn on the ground and air speed caps, which for those of you who aren't aware, were limits to Sonic's speed in the original Sonic 1. He could only go so fast while running and in the air, so if you want to get a more authentic Sonic 1 experience by turning on the speed cap, there you go. For the true Sonic 1 enthusiasts, you can also turn on the Sonic 1 Spike Glitch, which lets spikes hurt you even when you're supposed to be invincible for a few moments after getting hit, thus allowing you to be comboed to death by spikes. Another option you have is the ability to change which item set you're given. If you really like the Sonic 2 shield design, you can use that one instead. Or if you like the elemental shields from Sonic 3, you can get access to those as well. And if you play as Sonic, it also gives you the ability to use the Insta Shield. Lastly, you can set the max emeralds to 7, allowing you to play as Super Sonic in Sonic 1. They give you a really good amount of customization, letting you build the perfect Sonic 1 experience tailored to your liking. One last cool feature is if you enable the debug mode by playing the sounds 1, 9, 9, 1, 0, 6, 2, and then 3, and then select the special stage, you'll be sent to an empty special stage that you can edit, allowing you to make your own special stage, which is pretty awesome. But enough about Sonic 1, let's move on to Sonic 2. To access the level select in Origin Sonic 2, on the Sonic 2 title screen, input the code up, 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 down, 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 left, right, then press any button and you should be taken to the level select screen. It looks basically the same as the level select from the OG Sonic 2, but one big difference is the inclusion of Hidden Palace Zone. Unfortunately, it doesn't let you play it though. However, there is a way to get it working. On the sound test option, play tracks 1, 9, 9, 2, 1, 1, 2, then 4, and you'll unlock the debug mode. This code is a reference to Sonic 2's international release date, November 24th, 1992. Now that debug mode is unlocked, on the sound test option, play the tracks 3, 3, 3, 0B, 10, 10, 10, then 4, and that will unlock Hidden Palace Zone. Now, if you select the stage in the level select, you'll be able to play the stage. Another piece of bonus content is that you can select which special stage you want to go to by playing any of the first 7 sound effects and then selecting the special stage. By playing the 8th track, track 7, you can go to a super secret 8th special stage with a cool purple color scheme. At first glance, it doesn't seem like this level select screen has the same abundance of options that the Origin Sonic 1 level select has, but if you play track 0 3 times, boom, you can now see the game config menu. Like with Origin Sonic 1, you can change your player character, change your item set, even letting you randomize your items for some added chaos. You can turn off Tails' flight if you want a more pure Sonic 2 experience, or you just really hate Tails, and you can turn on the airspeed cap, which was in the original Sonic 2, but I can't tell the difference either way, honestly. Moving right along, we have the Origins version of Sonic 3 and Knuckles. You access this special stage by entering the code up, up, down, down, up, 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 then press a button and you'll have access to the sound test option. Selecting it opens up the level select, which is again pretty similar to the one from the OG Sonic 3 and Knuckles. But now we have new preview images for the Sonic 3 and Knuckles levels, instead of the game just reusing the Sonic 2 preview images. We do have some new options, like being able to play the Sonic 3 2-player stages from the Sonic 3 and Knuckles level select, which wasn't possible in the OG Sonic 3 and Knuckles. We do still have one more level select to look at in Sonic Origins, the level select for the Origins version of Sonic CD. I didn't talk about the level select for the OG Sonic CD simply because, it's not really all that interesting. You access it by pressing up, down, down, left, right, then B on the title screen, and you'll be instantly taken to the level select. For whatever reason, the 2011 version of Sonic CD, which is what the Origins version is based on, decided to make accessing the level select way harder. First, you have to beat the game to unlock all of the levels in Time Attack mode. Then, you have to beat all of the stages in Time Attack to unlock Time Attack for the special stages. Then, you have to beat all of the special stages in under 5 minutes. Thankfully, you don't have to beat all of the special stages in one sitting. Once you beat a stage, your time is saved, and you can go back to whatever stage you want at any point to get a better time. As long as the total time for all of the special stages is under 5 minutes, you're good to go. After doing all of that, Stage Select is unlocked. Unfortunately, they didn't give this UI any improvements like they did for the other games in the collection. It's still very bare bones. No preview images, no cool backgrounds, they don't even show you the names of the zones. I guess one good thing I can say about the Sonic CD level select is that it allows you to instantly go to any time period of any level. The first number represents the zone, or as Sonic CD calls them, rounds, although for some reason there's no second round. Palm Tree Panic is set to 1, Collision Chaos is set to 3, Tidal Tempest is set to 4, and so on. Anyways, the second number on the level select screen represents the act, or as Sonic CD calls them, zones, and the third number represents the time period. A is for present, B is for past, C is for good future, and D is for bad future. Being able to not only go to any level but also any time period is a great feature. I just wish the UI for this level select was better. At the very least, the UI for the Time Attack level select is pretty cool. You get scrolling preview images with colorful 90s graphic design. While it isn't technically related to the level select, it'd feel wrong not to at least mention the 8th special stage for Sonic CD, which you can access by going to the sound test. You unlock the sound test by beating all of the special stages in under 4 minutes. In the sound test menu, change the PCM number to 07 and the DA number to 07, allowing you to play the secret 8th special stage, where the background is this giant Eggman ominously watching you from the horizon. Man, that is so scary, but so goofy at the same time. Sonic level select screens will never fully die out, but they certainly aren't the same as they were in the past when you had to enter an oddly specific code in a small window of time with a bunch of lag frames. I'd like to see level select codes come back in a modern style Sonic game. I feel like level select codes fell out of fashion as games became more grandiose with bigger budgets. Try asking a game company to let you use a code to skip the game they spent $1 bajillion on making. In any case, it was fun going back and looking at some of the old Sonic level select screens. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. And if you do subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you'll be notified when I upload something new. If you're interested in watching more videos where I talk about stuff, here's a video I did where I tried to figure out if in-universe Sonic could legally drive. And here's a whole playlist of Sonic videos for you to check out if you're looking for something to marathon or to just have something to listen to as background noise. That's all I've got to talk about for today though, so thanks for watching y'all, and have a great rest of your day.